Today I'm going to take a look with you at this very nice SD9. So sometimes you buy stuff on eBay, there's stuff to fix. Other times you get lucky. So this one really is in mint condition, complete with the correct box. Look at that. So I'll show you. I took a look at it before, but it's mint. Everything's there in perfect condition, including the two horns. This little guy here can get lost sometimes. It's very small and he's a pain to put back. So everything's in perfect shape. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning on this, although I'm sure it runs great just like that. So I'm going to start by taking off the shell. This model, you can't do it with the case. There's 4 pins to pry out from under here, here and here. So you just put your screwdriver under there, you pry out gently, and the shell will just come very easy. And then once you have it out of its stops, you can just use gravity and the drive will come in your hands. So the shell, I'm going to run it under my tap with some soap and water just to get some of the dust off. And the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Remove the gas tank. Remove the 2 screws. This would be the type of cleanup you do maybe after a year. Now I have a bunch of engines, so a lot of them, what all they do is they sit around in their case, which I'm very comfortable with that. But if you run your trains, maybe after a year, maybe after 6 months, it's going to feel good to do something like that. So as I undo the screws, I want to make sure to keep track of all my stuff. Sometimes you can get replacement parts, but I prefer not to need them. So these little screws, they're not too hard to find if you lose one, but then you're looking at waiting until the postman delivers it. Once you've got the 2 screws out, the trucks will fall out. You don't need to remember the order because at the end there's a coupler. Some of these got converted to micro trains. I don't really need to do that. I'm okay with rapidos. I'm okay, very, very happy with the way these things run as Kato made them, and also very happy just to run rapidos. So I can enjoy it the way it was made. Keep track of these insulators here. You definitely need them to run the train. So this runs beautifully. Since I have it in my hands, I will just put a little bit drop of oil here and there, and I'll also take a look to see if there's any hair that I can remove. So 4 drops of oil for the whole engine, that's all that you need. So a bottle like that can last you a long, long, long time. Now as I put it back together, I want to listen, make sure there's no interference, and everything runs smooth. I do a forwards and back. So that sounds pretty good to me. Now we're going to clean the wheels. These are actually fairly modern, so they come out just like the SD40s. This is very close to all the mechanism in an SD40. The main difference being there's a pocket for the rapido couplers here. Alright, there's a lot of lube in there. Somebody's been on it already. I won't take the lube out. Maybe I'll just remove the extra. But while I have it in my hands, I'm just going to look at re-cleaning the wheels, although everything looks really good. So that's going to run amazing. Like I always do, I run the wheels between my nails with my rag, like this, just to see if there's some dirt. They look pretty clean. So I'm going to do the rest off camera. Taking it apart is easy, but putting it back together, I'm going to take a little bit more care. So check your work at every step in the process. The contact strips and the bearings, you want to make sure there's 2 pins here that will hold your contact strips and your bearings together. So that you want to make sure the wheels are in their caps. You want to make sure they're sitting in these 2 pins. And it really does want to go in there, so that's not really hard to align. That's why I like Kato locomotives so much. It's impressive how with the precision that they make them. So I run my fingers to make sure it's running right. So your side frames, they have holes for the gear, so you can't put it like this, it won't go. And that just snaps in there, nice and easy. There's just one way for it to go. And now we're happy. So the side frame, I just run them under my my toothbrush with some soap. And now do the other side off camera. So now I'm ready to put everything back together. It's always amazing to me how they can get the locomotives to run so well with not a lot of components. Very simple to work on, and once you're done, they run like $1,000,000. There, I just put my trucks back on. And then I'll go find my screws. So before you put your gas tank back on, make sure that your contact strips here are well aligned. And also I'm going to test it just to make sure it's running right. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So here's my gas tank. The gas tank, it's got air tanks on the one side. So all you SD7s and SD9 guys, fans, know that they go in the front. On the GP7s and GP9s, it goes to the back. But on the SD, it goes in the front. Which brings me to my next point. Some people confuse the front and the back on this engine. The reason being that this part here, the headlight's further from the end. I don't know why intuitively you would think that the front would have the headlight close to the end rather than the back. But on this engine, the air tanks go to the front, So this is the front. If you look in the shell, you can see there's an optic cable here that goes longer in the front than in the back. So don't put your locomotive back like this. It goes back like this with the air tanks in the front. If you get it wrong, it's not the end of the world. Some people would actually take these out, put them backwards, so the locomotive can run with the air tanks in the back, but it just doesn't look right to me. There. Doesn't that look good? And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope this video was useful to you. See you soon.